Alright, hello everybody. It's Landon from Morgan County Chess. I just wanted to get on here and show you guys a video implementing some of the tactics and strategies I've showed you guys in the 100 to 300 course so far. We're going to be playing against Martin, which is the introductory bot on chess.com. He's only around 250. And using our tactics and strategies that we've come up that I've showed you guys how to implement in your games, we're going to implement that into a game and show you how it really works. And I'm going to play him from the black side and from the white side. I'm going to start out with the black side just to show you guys how to start out with like a defense or something simple. Before we get into it though, I wanted to shout out our middle school and high school who just went and played at the state Kentucky chess tournament. And congratulate those guys on some wins that they got out there. I know it was a hell of a drive. I just came back yesterday from being there with them, going over a couple of the games and stuff. And I just wanted to give them a shout out and congratulate them on being able to make it to state and get some good games out there. But, so, to get into the game, we're going to start out with Martin played e4, and so whenever they're attacking the center, we're going to go right for the center also. So we're going to counter him by just playing e5. We're going to match him. After he played e4, we're going to play e5. So Martin brings out his queen to h5, which is something you'll see a lot of beginners doing. Bringing their queen out to threaten this square on f7 right here. So, but he's not also just attacking f7. Right? He's also attacking our e5 pawn. So, in order to defend against that, let's just play a basic knight to c6. Now our knight defends on e5. So, now that we're defending against that, we're good. He's not going to take that pawn, but now, of course, he plays his bishop to c4 right there. So, this is, of course, known as the scholar's mate, or the four-move mate. So if black doesn't see it, say I just played my knight to f6 right here. Oh, oops, wrong place. f6, then I would be checkmated because the queen can come right down here to f7 and checkmate me. That's known as the four-move scholar's mate. It's what a lot of people learn at first just so they can get some quick, easy wins over people that don't know what it is. So, to counter this, we have a couple different options that we can do. We could, probably one of the most awkward ones is bringing our queen to f6 right here, because that defends the f7 square. You could do that. I wouldn't recommend it because you don't want to bring your queen out as early as Martin is in this game. You could also play, d5, but if you play d5 and then he takes back with his pawn, you just end up losing a pawn for no reason. So you don't want to do that. That counters it as well, but you don't really want to do that because it's not the best counterplay. So, what I'm going to do is move a pawn in front of this pawn on f7 that's being attacked by playing g6, and it attacks his queen. Makes him move his queen back. He moves his queen back to f3, still threatening on f7. So, to defend against that, I'm just now going to play my knight to f6. So by playing my knight to f6, it blocks him from being able to do anything. And then Martin plays a very useless move. Something that you should never do is move your king to the center unless you have good reason for it. That is just wasting development for him and bringing his king into danger. And there's a move here, I'm going to let you guys take a minute and look at it, that I can do from the black side that actually wins me a major piece. Because he moved his king to e2. So, I'll let you guys look at it for a minute. Think about what you could do. So, the move is actually moving our knight to d4, which checks him. So now that I'm checking his king, I'm attacking both his king and his queen at the same time, and now I just win a queen from Martin. Now he's going to, he takes back with his knight. That's fine. So, to defend against that pawn, let's just play d6. Alright, so now he moves his bishop over to b5. And something that you need to implement also, once you start going up a bunch of material, like I'm already up a queen, you just want to get pieces off the board because you're going to have more pieces at the end of the game. So let's play our bishop there. He takes, now I'll take with my queen. And now he's just giving us more pieces. Of course, this is the first level bot, so you should expect to see stuff like this. So since he took that, I'm just going to take his knight back for free. He's giving us another pawn on f4. We will take that pawn. Okay, and then he plays d3, which lets his bishop attack our pawn on f4. So I am just going to play let's just play bishop d6. We don't have any danger of being forked on e5 right there. Because that would be dangerous if he had his rook on e1, because then he could have forked both of our pieces. Both of our pieces, our knight and our bishop, but he has no danger of doing that right now. So now, let's just play principled chess. Let's castle kingside, get our rooks into the game, and try and checkmate Martin. So, he plays b3. Something you can do right away is give him a quick attack by moving your bishop to e5, which also opens up a larger diagonal for you to watch. Okay, Martin plays c4, so he's not defending his rook at all. So, what he could have played in that moment, he could have played c3, which would have defended the rook, and if I had took the pawn, he could have took back with his knight. But now we'll just take his rook. Alright, now we're going to get our queen involved in the action up here at the top of the map. So, look for a square or a piece that the queen could take that could get the queen more involved and start threatening Martin's king. See what piece you think I could take right now, and I will do it. So, after you've looked at the position, queen takes d3 check. He brings his king down to f2, and now I'm going to need to remember I have a bishop right down up here in a1, so I'm going to bring it down here and check his king as well. Bishop d4 check. Now he moves his king to e1. So, how do we want to proceed? Let's just take his rook. Let's just be principled. Take his rook. That's fine. Okay, now he plays bishop to d2. So now, let's move our rook to e8. Let's try and get more pieces involved in this attack. So he plays his knight to c3, defending that pawn on e4. But I can still take with my knight, so I will do that. And after he takes back, we are going to take with our rook. He only has, he goes to the d1 square. So now we can play queen b1, and then he's going to be able to defend with his bishop. After he moves his bishop over, we can play rook d8. Checkmate. So, that was a quick game. That's why I'm going to play another one. And just show you guys how to really get an advantage in the opening or get an advantage in the middle game and just try and take somebody out. So, Martin, of course, is the easiest bot on chess.com. I could see if there's one that's closer to 250. They have a bunch of the bots locked behind a paywall, which is, I mean, I guess I understand, but the next level up is 1,000 rated, so we're not going to be doing that. We are just going to play, we could play Martin one more time. We'll play Martin one more time, but this time we'll play as white. So, with the white pieces, you can either go e4 or d4 as your main options. So let's just play our basic e4 opening. So, he brings his knight in. We'll bring our knight out. He moves e5. We will bring our bishop to c4. Knight to f6. Knight c3. Do you see how everything's just coming in the middle and being developed? That is how you know you're starting to get a stronger understanding of chess, is once you start seeing these things and connecting the dots. So, he plays bishop c5. Let's just go ahead and castle, get our king to safety as quickly as possible. Okay, and he takes our pawn on f2. So, let's just take back with our rook. He just gave us a bishop. Alright, now Martin is playing a move d5. It looks scary because he's attacking a bishop and a pawn at the same time, but in all reality, we can just take with our pawn, we can take with our bishop, or we can take with our knight. So out of these three options, I'm going to choose to take with my knight because it doesn't double my pawns on my d file. Because you don't want to, usually you don't want to get multiple pawns on the same file because it makes the pawns weaker. That's something we'll get into more. But now he's castled. That's principled. So let's play d3, try and get our black square bishop out. Okay. Martin places knight to d4. Alright, that just removed his own defender from his square on e5. So now we will take that pawn. Alright, and he places knight to e2, which in all reality just gives me a free knight. I will take with my queen. Alright, he places bishop to e6, pinning my knight to my bishop. There's no real threat here, but what I'm going to show you is, let's just get these pieces off the board now that I'm up material. Let's take his knight on f6. Let's see. He takes with his pawn, which is correct. If he had took with his queen, we would have won a queen with our rook. So, now let's take his bishop. Alright, let's see what piece he takes. Alright, he took the bishop. So, now let's try and get involved over here. Let's be principled, though. Let's move our knight back first. We want to save our material, not be given any to him. So now that he's taken with his pawn like he did earlier, he opened up this file right here, this G file, which is all the way down. No pieces are defending him on that file. So let's bring our queen over to G4 and give him a check. Alright. He plays king h8. So now we're going to try and set up a battery like I spoke about in our last episode. Remember what a battery is? It is when two pieces are along the same diagonal, partnering together to create an attack that either wins you material or wins you the game. So, how I'm going to set that up is I'm going to try and get my rook and queen both to this H file. So let's go ahead and put our rook on F3 and try and maneuver it over to H3. Alright, and Martin's just playing kind of pointless moves right now, so let's play rook H3. He plays pawn to F5. Let's go queen H5. Setting this up right here. Let's see if he knows how to defend it. Okay, he plays queen to D4. Queen to D4. Well, let's just block that attack with our bishop, because now I'm attacking his queen. Martin did see it. Martin moved his queen back to G7. Not a bad move from Martin, but let's try and get that queen off the diagonal. We're going to try and put our pawn on C3. Quite honestly, actually, we could just go ahead and let's just play bishop D4. No, let's not play bishop D4, because then he can take with check. So yes, let's go with the initial plan, C3, and then put our bishop on D4. Well, look at Martin. He's trying to counterattack us with his own battery. See, you don't want to get too cocky and let your opponent develop an attack against you as well. But something that he didn't realize during this whole time was whenever I put my bishop on D4, his queen is going to be pinned to his king. So he doesn't get to checkmate us first, because his queen cannot move off of that diagonal. So he takes the bishop. I get his queen now. Alright, he takes my pawn on G2. I'll take his rook. Now I'm expecting a check. Yep, that's right. Let's move my king out of the way. He gives us another check. He's playing the right moves to try and prolong the game. Alright, Martin is wanting to prolong this as long as possible, which is the best thing to do when you're down material. Try and see if you can outlast your opponent and maybe come up with some sort of counterplay. So let's just play rook G1 and give him a check. Alright, now let's put queen on H6, give him another check so we don't have to just trade off the rooks. Alright, let's now take his rook. Let's just get every piece we can get off the board and then form our attack. So, now let's take on h7, give him another check. He moves his king over. Alright, now let's bring our rook over to c8, double attack this pawn on c7. Alright, and take that pawn on c7 with our queen. Alright, he moves his king over to b5. So, let's continue the attack. Let's do our knight over so we can get this open file. Yes, he plays that move, alright. So now we're going to play our queen to b7 because he can't take. My knight is protecting against it. I'm probably missing the mate here, to be honest. Just the quick and easy one. But I'm just trying to show you guys the best way to get to the checkmate. So I'm not showing you the quickest way, of course, because I'm just missing it. Because I'm not the best chess player there is. Alright. Let's let's just move our king up and try and get our other rook involved over here. Alright, let's check him there. And then give him another check right there by taking that pawn. And that's checkmate. So I probably missed an earlier mate, but that's fine. I just wanted to show you guys how to implement these moves and everything, and implement these strategies I've been teaching you guys about. And I think I'm going to start my next video by trying to go over the course from 400 to, 301. So all the 300s up to 600. So that's going to cover, it's probably going to be a longer playlist. The 100 to 300 playlist is really just introductions kind of situations. And 300 to 600, we're going to talk about pawn structures, basic pawn structures, and we're going to also be talking about doubled pawns and when to trade pieces and when not to trade pieces. Some basic, a little bit more advanced tactics to just kind of building block on top of each other to get you guys a better understanding of chess and really learn what you're doing and how to implement it into your game and raise your floor and raise your skill level. But if this is your first time seeing me, I'm glad to help you guys learn, and I really appreciate everything. If you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to leave it in the comments.